Hello, good evening to everybody. Welcome to BCL Beyond the Boundary with myself, Simon Booth. Very happy to have a lad and dad combo with me this evening from Heaton Cricket Club. We've got Oliver and Richard Sutcliffe. Evening, gents.
Evening.
How are we doing? You okay?
Yeah, all good, all considering.
Magic. Well, yeah, obviously, yeah, considering. We'll dive straight into it. Obviously, this is going to be the first sort of lad and dad combo one that we've done. So this is the first ever one we've done on this BCL Beyond the Boundary. So obviously, I'd be interested to get the views of obviously, the younger lads in terms of Ollie and Richard, who are seasoned. We'll go with seasoned. How's that?
Try 65.
Right. Okay. We'll go with that. So we'll dive straight in, chaps, if that's all right. And obviously, on all these segments that I've done so far, first things first, there'll be people watching this, don't know me from Adam, don't know you guys, so we'll sort of introduce ourselves, really. All I want to know, who you are, where you play, what you do, a bit about yourself and your involvement at Heaton. If we can go with Oliver first.
Yeah, so I'm Oliver and first team captain at Heaton. Number 3 batsman, really. Try and hold it together when the openers don't get any runs. That's about it, really.
Short and sweet, like it. Yeah. All right. Let's have the old man now. Let's go.
How long have we got, Simon?
We've got a timer on this.
How long have we got? Cricket family, like yourself, like a lot of cricket players in the local leagues. Cricket family. Dad was a wicket keeper, kept against people like George Tribe, who's a really good spin bowler in the bloody, God knows what, just pre-war, just after the war. Brother Phil played cricket as well. So Brother Phil was pro'd at Daisy Hill, pro'd at Walker's Institute, which obviously doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So Brother Phil, so a big cricketing family. Lytham Cricket Club was my first cricket team, age 15 in the first team. And played in the Manchester Association for really 10 years until 1979. 16 seasons as pro. Played for 32 seasons in total. Wondered whether it ruined my life or made my life. So, all the hassle that you had with playing cricket, I was playing bloody Tuesday night, Thursday night nets we used to do. I played Wednesday for the evening league. And then we'd have Saturday, Sunday matches as well. So 16 seasons as a pro at Milnrow, Rochdale, Leyland, and then Latley at Darcy Lever, which brought me to Bolton to meet my wife. I was index linked as a pro. So I started on 50 quid a game in 1980, and I finished on 50 quid a game. I never put my bloody fees up ever. But it's great to be paid to be playing a game you'd be playing anyway. Highlights included 10 wickets in 1977. I got all 10. I came second the same year in Find a Fast Bowler competition, which was a competition organised by the Cricketer at Alf Gover's Cricket School in Surrey. And I was, in 1978, lucky enough to play one first-class game for Lancashire, which was against Essex at Southport. So I upped the bowling with Colin Croft, which was interesting. Then I got the wicket of Mike Deness. My involvement at Heaton, I joined Heaton when Ollie was age 10. Ollie joined with a guy, Ollie Cross was Peter Cross's son, a cricketer in the Bolton League. And we had some magical years under the guidance of Jack Taylor, Dave Parkinson and Roy Marland. Friday Juniors is still a massive feature at Heaton.
Yeah.
But to have a team like Ollie's team, which included Callum Matt Parkinson, they won the under-11s, under-13s, under-15s of the Lancashire knockout each successive year. Lost a little bit of contact with Heaton, but through Ollie, I'm just a spectator now.
Happy days. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
So no worries,
you've obviously, you've been around, if you don't mind me saying that, and you've seen a lot of cricket. So, speaking to people like yourself, you've got a well-rounded view of league cricket, not just in Bolton, but in other areas, and you can sort of use that experience and sort of pass knowledge. That's great. First things first, Ollie, I'm going to come to you, if that's all right. We're gonna dive straight into Heaton Cricket Club. So first things first, we've got a semi sort of script to go to, just to sort of keep a bit of continuity with these interviews. Heaton Cricket Club, what were your club's plans for the 2020 season in terms of players, any sort of club improvements that you had, and obviously anything, you know, in the social calendar that was due to happen?
Yeah, so I think first things first is we were mainly looking to really build on last year. Obviously won the league last year. You know, I think we only lost 3 games throughout the whole year. So we're really looking forward to the challenge this year, going up to the Premiership. In terms of play and like adding players to the team, we'd added 2 players really. We would planned to add Sam Sweeney, who I think played for Bradshaw last year.
Yeah,
I think he's currently in New Zealand. And we also got a keeper in, who's Karen Knott's nephew, Nathan Elliott. He was meant to be coming over from New Zealand as an overseas keeper for us.
Really?
So they were the 2 sort of main additions really going into the 2020 season. In terms of club improvements, I know we've been constantly improving for like the last 5 years really, with the whole balcony and the patio outside now. I know that's driven a lot of business, getting people in, especially when the sun's shining.
Yeah.
With the nets on the top as well. Last year we had a new electric scoreboard put in. So there's been a lot of development with the club especially over the last 2 or 3 years.
How did that go down with my mate, John Pat?
Well, he had a ceremonial retirement game, so...
If anyone obviously doesn't know who John Pat's the greatest tin man in the history of cricket. And obviously I played a few years at Heaton and got very friendly with John, and obviously now you've got rid of him and got an electric scoreboard. So I was just asking how that had gone down.
I think he's happy he's put his feet up now. He finally retired after 60 odd years of doing it, or whatever it is.
Real.
And in terms of the social calendar, well, we've always got stuff going on at the club, functions, weddings, funerals, whatever it will be. We've got it on really.
Yeah.
And then we were looking to just do more this year, especially around T20. I think we were definitely looking to push that, but I know you're gonna.
We're going to come on to that in a little while. So, yeah. I had sort of 4.5 really happy years at Heaton, and I've got a lot of affiliation and love for Heaton because I got my opportunity to play first team cricket back in 1999. So, Heaton's a club that's, you know, I know I'm known for being at Farnworth, but you know, Heaton give me that stepping stone that I think every young lad needs really. So I'll forever be in Heaton's debt for that. Warwick being one of them. Ulti as well. Tommy Hull and Jimmy Irani was obviously sort of involved back then, and then sort of brought a few of us to the cricket club, myself and John Fearick being the other at the same time. So yeah, I've got a lot of love for Heaton. So it's good to know that they're building on last year's success and sort of going forward, improving the club. And the only negative is obviously you've got Marshy involved, but you know we'll not hold that against you.
His golf's improving.
That's great. So obviously the current situation that we find ourselves in with coronavirus and what have you, how's it hit Heaton in regards to senior cricket and junior cricket, if you know about the junior programme?
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. I mean, Simon Lightbound really runs our juniors team. But I mean, the biggest sort of hit we've had is obviously the bar. It's such a huge revenue maker for us especially. Even outside the cricket season, you know, it's a lot of people's local. So I know that's obviously had a huge impact really, that not being open. In terms of the cricket, I know just last week we just started to get a few nets together, which is good. So it kind of looks like we're heading hopefully out of it now, and hopefully get some cricket played this year, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, socially, Richard, do you nip into Heaton out of season as well?
Yeah, we're down there a little bit. Not really truly out of season. I think those sort of days are gone. But the club is thriving generally. It's a very strong club. It's very well run. You know, the whole situation is well run. And it is, it's a village environment, isn't it? Really, within a large town.
Yeah. So that's, so in terms of like, obviously we're not playing any cricket, and the sort of my next question is sort of like, what are Heaton doing about it? There's not a lot you can do about the bar situation until that restrictions are lifted. But in terms of cricket, is everyone sort of keeping in contact, and what sort of things is happening in and around the juniors, if you know?
Yeah, I'm not overly close with the sort of the junior setup to that degree. I know everyone's been keeping in contact. We've got a massive WhatsApp group, whole club's on it. So we are keeping in regular contact with what's going on. And like I said last week, just been good to get quite a few people down. We've been doing it in sort of half an hour slots. So just having like one net, half an hour slots over the course of 3 hours, really. And just, I think that's the most important thing, sort of just getting the lads together.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be unfurling, doesn't it, Simon? Slowly, obviously.
Yeah, it's frustrating really, because obviously, I don't know about Ollie, but me and Richard are quite keen golfers, and golf seems to have got its act together pretty quickly. Put a lot of provisions in place, whereas, with cricket, I'm probably going to back up the governing bodies here, but there's a lot of moving parts to cricket, and it's very difficult to just say, well, we're not going to do this, but we'll do that. So I get the reason and the technicalities behind it, but you just fingers crossed. There was an article I heard yesterday from a very clever scientist, whatever you want to call, from the University of Exeter. I don't know if you managed to read that or not. And essentially, he said the transmission of COVID in a cricket environment is little to none. So fingers crossed, that gives us a bit of a push over the line to get some meaningful cricketing.
Yeah, the good thing with COVID is it'll stop chirpy wicketkeepers, won't it?
No comment. No comment.
They're going to have to be. Will they not be classified as runouts now?
I don't know whether we'll be able to stand up or not. We can't get right close and start giving a bit of stick now, so we might have to stand a bit further back. But obviously, I know nothing about that. Professionals and overseas. Let's dive into that, if that's all right. And I think we'll cut you both in, because obviously Richard has been a professional for quite some time, and obviously with you being an English pro as well, you added a lot of different values to having an overseas professional. But in terms of Heaton, Ollie, in terms of professional and overseas, what was the plans for this year?
We'd kept Harsha, who was Sri Lankan overseas pro from last year. And to be honest, he was probably the highlight of 2019 for us in terms of his role at the club. He was massively influential in coaching the juniors, pretty much lived at the club throughout the week, which I think was really important. And the kids absolutely loved him. I think like the under-13s or under-50s, I can't remember, got to one of the finals. He played a massive role in coaching those guys and going watching those junior games. So we kept him on this year, and again, I thought, especially with him having a year of experience playing bottom league cricket, that you can only go from strength to strength in your second year, really. So unfortunately, he can't come over this year, but I think same plan again for 2021. Hopefully, we'll have him over here, because he's been absolutely fabulous for the club.
A lot of the clubs I've spoken to and people I've spoken to have sort of put a pin in this year and offered the professional the same contracts for the year after. I know that's something that Farmless done. We've sort of said to the pro and the overseas, stay where you are, and we'll have you back next year. So fingers crossed the clubs are loyal to that, and give these professionals a bit of not a lifeline, but a bit of security. I think more than anything, it gives them a bit of job security that for 6 months of the year they're going to be over here rather than wondering what they're doing. Richard, professionals, how important is professionals in the amateur game?
I think with the pro, it's massively important to actually, and it isn't just about cricket on the field. It really is cricket off the field as well. I think the pro can get so involved with your junior section. They look up to them. I think no matter, and this is no disrespect to anybody who's ever pro'd, no matter who they are, the kids love a pro. The players love a pro. It brings people in to watch the game. The better pros you get, obviously, the better the game is. I mean, I'll never forget, Garfield Sobers turning up at the bloody age of God knows what. The place had 3,000, 4,000 around it. Viv Richards at Rishton. You look around the leagues, these people are so important as figureheads, really, within the club. The first thing the kids come back, or the second team do, when they come back from an away game, how did the pro go on? What did the pro get? How did it? There's a lot of banter around the pros. Yeah. And I think these days, coaching's better set up. the pros who want to do it have got a great platform to really get involved within the club. And it just, to me, it just brings a level of cricket up a stage.
I interviewed Josh Bohannon last night, funnily enough, for a special edition for these particular interviews. And obviously, I asked Josh about growing up and his influences. And one of the influences he mentioned was Brenton Parchment, obviously one of the professionals. So it just echoes exactly what you've said with regards to how influential these particular pros can be. Because ultimately, they do it for a job. Me and Ollie rock up and do our best we can, but ultimately these guys are doing it for pounds, shillings and pence, and they're doing it as a job, and you did it as a job for quite some time as well. So it's leaning upon them professionals to sort of impart a bit of knowledge, impart some experience onto these people. And obviously Josh said to me last night that having Brenton around for a couple of years, massively brought him in. So yeah, absolutely. I think everyone I've spoken to about professionals has said the same thing. So, good to hear that Heaton's got a good pro, and the club obviously cherish him and they want him back next year, which is great.
Yep.
Swiftly moving on to more sort of specifics on terms of cricket, and one of the sections that I've covered in every one of these interviews is T20 cricket, and we sort of half dived into it before. What I want to ask you is obviously, how does Heaton perceive T20 cricket, Ollie, and what sort of things are Heaton's plans in terms of 2020? And then my caveat question afterwards, I'll dip to your dad on this one, is what do you want from T20 cricket in the future? It is what it is at the moment, but is it going to get bigger, or do we want more things from it? And I want both your opinions on that. So, first things first, Ollie, T20 and Heaton.
Yeah, I mean, we absolutely love it. I mean, it's no surprise to anyone that if you get people in on a Friday night, you get a huge crowd in. I mean, Horwich in particular, I think they've done it really, really well, especially on a Friday. We can almost get 1,000 people down to watch a game of cricket. That's what you want to do, isn't it? You want a big crowd there. You want to be playing in front of a bit of an atmosphere, and T20 gives that. So I think definitely this year we were definitely looking at doing more stuff in terms of just sort of preparation for the T20s, in terms of barbecues, events on whilst we're playing, and then just a bit of marketing around them so people know that there's going to be a T20 game on a Friday. So you can get those sort of bigger crowds in that you perhaps don't really see on a Saturday or Sunday, really.
Yeah. I think as this situation we find ourselves rolls on, I think the not the need, but I think the impact or the want for T20 cricket is going to get more and more people I speak to are actually openly want T20 cricket. If we're going to get a really short season, we're starting August or whatever, late July, some meaningful T20 cricket midweek, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, whenever. Ultimately, playing at night at that time of year we're going to struggle for light. But if we could play it at weekend, then 100, 200,000 people at Horwich, hopefully, would come on a Saturday and a Sunday. T20 cricket, Richard, obviously, you've played in an era where probably T20 wasn't as prevalent, but now it is. But what's your views?
Yeah, I think it's entertainment, isn't it? There's got to be entertainment. I think the hard bit with it is that the game is a bit short, but people are able to understand it. So even somebody who just rocks up for a pint of beer actually can see that some team needs X runs in 10 overs left. So they get a better feeling for the game, really, I think, in terms of how it's structured. Whereas the 50-over game even is so complex to a lot of casual supporters. But I think T20 is just, it's got to be seen, I think, as entertainment. And I think what it will do is give clubs the opportunity. I mean, we haven't talked about junior cricket that much yet, but juniors find it hard to break into a side, whereas some juniors actually can play a T20 because they've done it from under 11s, under 12, under 30, all the way through. They can actually play the game slightly different. And it's not just about hitting sixes. The game is really not just about smashing the ball. Having said that, I think I would have loved to have played T20 myself. But I think T20's entertainment, got to bring money into the club. The finances of clubs are so important. And I think people are looking for that short game. There's a great article in the Wisden 2020 this year about the 100 and why they've had to do the 100. And it's a fabulous article. Most people should try and read it for interest in cricket. But it sort of just sums up the game is changing. It's a different game than it was when I played in 1970, 1980.
I'm not a fan of those orange balls, I have to say.
No, I must admit. Yeah, I think we were looking at. I'm pretty sure we were changing to the pink ones or even white ones because them orange ones weren't great. I must admit.
They flew off the bat early on though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
If you swung the mile, so
yeah, you swing too far. You want it nice and hard, but you don't want it swinging too far. Definitely.
Gents, the game is set up for it to be the same for both sides.
Yeah, well, if the balls were the same, then we wouldn't be so bad. But they were like hitting a pebble most of the time. So, yeah, I think the quality of the ball is certainly something that's been discussed. And when we played with the pink ones and the white ones a few years ago, I think they were a lot better in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. You can only trial it, can't you? You can only have a look and see, but. I think we were using one at either end.
Yeah, because they just fall apart after about 5 overs. They're just completely misshapen, aren't they? But
Simon, I've got a question for you.
Oh, fire!
Quality player that you are, quality batsman that you are, yeah, up and coming, still batsman, 30 odd years old.
Oh, I like that. I like up and coming. That sounds good.
Your stats: 56 innings in league cricket, 1,080 runs. In T20, 16 innings and only 145 runs. What's gone wrong? Are you not a big hitter?
I think the teams that we've put out at Falmouth over the years have been, especially at T20 cricket, have been heavily dependent on the pros. And the pros that we've had have scored big runs. And obviously we've won the T20 competition and things like that. But I mean, you're right, and it has been mentioned a couple of times. You've obviously done your homework before this and banged me on the spot, so I don't mind that. But I don't ever seem to get in at any point really. I either get in when there's about 7 or 8 balls left, or I get in when we're 5 down for next to nothing. So
the joys of batting 5, 6, and 7, isn't it? The joys of batting.
I think a lot of it as well. Being captain, you've got to try and Ollie will know this now more than anybody, you've got to try and look after people and give people a chance. And if your own game suffers for it, then sometimes, that's sometimes something that you've got to do as a captain. And it was something that I did last year. I made a point of me batting 5 all year last year and not dropping down to 7s and 8s. And it paid dividends because I had a decent season with the bat.
That's the one good thing as well with the T20s. It gives a chance to give the younger kids a go as well. We especially did that last year. The ones that are sort of on that sort of precipice of becoming senior cricketers, really. And we had a lot of success with that last year. Yeah,
we obviously threw quite a few younger lads in and stuff. And I'd be lying if I said we threw them in on purpose because it was either availability or people working, but there was people, I'm not going to name any names, but they knew who they are, but a few of our younger lads who are junior cricketers came into the first team and did really well, fielded phenomenally well. There was some great catches taken in the T20 last year for Falmouth, and I can think of half a dozen that were our young lads, that the older end wouldn't have even got anywhere near them. So, fair play to them, really. Not lastly, but sort of coming towards the end now, in terms of coronavirus, in terms of how it's put our game on the skids, as it were, what do you think this will do for the future game? I'll come to you first, Ollie. How do you think this is going to impact on league cricket?
I mean, first and foremost, probably, I just hope every club survives it, really. Because what you just don't have a situation, maybe not even Bolton, but just wider Greater Manchester, Lancashire, that clubs fold. If there's no cricket this year, and if clubs fold, it causes an awful lot of headaches, you imagine, for league administrators and whatnot. But I'm hoping it's just sort of a little blip, and then we're back to normal next year and carrying on as usual. No change.
Do you think so? So no change to the game, sort of next year, you think?
There potentially could be, but I wouldn't like to see any. I think I don't think there's any really need for it if we're going back to how it was before. But if we have to put in certain rules, like you say, T20 might have to be the way forward. A bit more emphasis on that, but we'll see.
Richard, what's your take on that?
I think it should, with a little bit of luck, Simon. I mean, these broadcasts you've done, you're just bringing people closer together. I think you're giving a bigger understanding, really, about how difficult it is to run a league. How difficult it is to run. The clubs that you've got in the Bolton League are absolutely fantastic. Every single club that's come on here has said the work that they've put in, the way they're developing it. Never mind the tracks, the volunteers, the sponsors, the bar, the whole package that people are doing. The work that's going on in Bolton cricket is absolutely amazing. It's very, very strong in that respect. I mean, you're obviously going to have changes, coming down to a different number in the league.
Yeah.
But every club seems to be done, and it's happening everywhere else as well. You look at clubs like Fulwood and Broughton. You look at clubs like Longridge. Longridge were a nothing club probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago. With Palace Shield, and their sort of aspirations are now the Lancashire League. It's bringing cricket closer, this COVID environment. But we'll still get them chirpy keepers at bloody 2 metres away. We'll still get them.
Might be at 3 or 4 metres. You never know. But yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Longridge. Friend of mine, obviously in Barton's, massively involved up there, and him and another good friend of mine, Gary Hunt, is doing a very similar thing to this on BBC Lancashire Radio. So they're doing Zoom calls and interviewing certain people. I think they had Stephen Croft on last week. So I think we're all people who've got cricket at heart, and people who, either hugely involved at their clubs and put a lot of effort in. And you're quite right. I've spoke to some people on this who I wouldn't normally speak to. I spoke to a fella at Blackrod, Darcy Lever. As this goes on, I'm going to speak to hopefully every club in the league, and in inverted commas, the legends as well, and the players who's scored 1 million runs and took 1 million wickets, and get their take on local cricket as well. So yeah, hopefully these interviews will create a bit of positivity around, keep us talking about cricket, and hopefully if we can get the green light, we can play some decent cricket and get our clubs back up and running and thriving. Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anything to add there, gents? Anything you wanna tell the world about Heaton Cricket Club?
Just the Cargill sponsor there below. My dad's get out.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with plugging a sponsor.
Can't do without sponsors, can you? The costs are pretty high in running a club. They are pretty high.
Yeah. It's every club's different, of course, and Heaton's got some very clever men up at the top there who run Heaton very, very well, very successful in business.
But it's also more about the volunteers, Simon.
I was just going to come to that. Yeah.
Everybody that's been on your Zoom has mentioned a number of people that are actually involved behind the scenes that you never ever hear of. Never mind families, coaches, umpires, sponsors, bloody tea ladies again, scorers.
Yeah.
It's just the depth of cricket involvement is huge to actually get a game on. I think one of the good things in the BCL area is that the support you get from Bolton News and Bolton FM is fantastic. The behind the scenes, never mind individual clubs' social media, you get a tremendous amount of support really from there. And I think that's really very, very important to Bolton cricket.
Yeah, I think definitely worth a mention. I mean, Bolton FM certainly have started, even more plugging these sort of interviews that I'm doing and other things. Keith Harris is a good friend of mine, and he keeps messaging me and saying he's going to promote, and Chris Ider as well, who does does a bit of everything, writing and reporting. And obviously the Bolton News have always been very, very good for Bolton cricket.
Yeah, but the key is really within a committee structure. Somebody's got to do it, haven't they? Somebody's get this communication message out. And again, it's another volunteer.
Absolutely. But no, it just shows that, it's all right for us because we're steeped in cricket. My family's steeped in cricket, your family's. But the people who don't understand cricket, or people in and around cricket, it's very alien to them. And my friends and people I work with, I talk a little bit, and he asked me about cricket, and I don't think there's an amateur game like it where you can come and play with and against internationals, people on telly. You can't do it. You can't do it in football. You can't do it in many other amateur sports. So it is unique when it all falls down to it.
The players I've played against you probably wouldn't be able to do it this day. I think we lived in some really good times going back to the 70s and 80s. I don't agree with Chalky White. I think, we all say the game was better then. I think we all got better when we all retired. I think the game is it's just different. It's a different game. I think the skill sets, the way these lads are brought up through the junior cricket, the chances they've got are way better than we ever had. We might have played on uncovered pitches. They're covered a little bit more. All the facilities the clubs have had is way better. And I just think the game's is just different. I've got 3 regrets, though. Can I share 3 regrets with you?
Fire. Why not? Go.
Are you ready? First one, not playing with Ollie. I gave up at 46 and I had him late. So it was not playing at least one game with Ollie. I'm really, that would have sealed everything, I think. I don't know if you played with your dad.
I might have played like a Taverners game. I don't think I played a proper game of cricket. My dad had me at 38. By the time I was playing sort of second and first team cricket, he'd sort of packed in. He was playing a little bit.
Same.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to play any meaningful proper cricket with him, but the odd one.
Second regret, every league I've played in, this is a bad one really, but every league I've played in has folded. So you got Manchester Association that disappeared. You got Lancashire and Cheshire League, Lancashire County League, Central Lancs League, Northern League, and Bolton Association. There's a bit of a theme going through there.
Ollie, just rip up the registration form for your old man this year. Rip up the registration form. We don't want to be folding.
Last one from me, and I'll shut up then. After many Trinity Cup battles, with a man of the match sneaked in there somewhere, I should have played in the Bolton League, really.
Yeah, we spoke about it before. I didn't realise you'd not played in the Bolton League, to be fair. I thought you had, but obviously, you've played here, there and everywhere for a long time. But
too aggressive for me, the Bolton League. Way too aggressive.
A lot of people do say that. I mean, I think we do play the game quite hard in the Bolton League, and I think other leagues probably play just as hard as we do. But I think the success that we've had in the Lancs knockout over the years is probably testament to the type of cricket we play.
Absolutely, it's only brutal better, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've over the years, Farnworth, we've come up against all sorts of different sides in the Liverpool Comp, the Northern League, and there's some great sides in other leagues, and obviously the GMCL now. There's some good sides in that as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a hotbed, isn't it? Northwest is a hotbed for cricket.
Absolutely.
And we've produced some serious cricketers as well. Gents, thank you very much for your time this evening. Really appreciate it. Obviously, this will go out on the social media channels and obviously what have you, and we'll tag Heaton in and yourselves. So thanks for your time, gents.
Cheers, Billy.
Cheers, Simon. Thank you much indeed.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Night.